Hey everyone, 1 year and 1 month later we've come to the end of my Gamera review series. If you've missed any of the previous videos, I will literally attach like a rainbow of links around here to link you to any of these said reviews. Otherwise, I promise two things for this video. I promise to rewatch Gamera the Brave in light of having seen the previous movies now, seeing as it was the first one I watched if you've forgotten, and to generally rank them in my favorite order. Now, actually creating a list for this is a little difficult, but I think I can pull it off, even on the fly. Suffice to say, though, when I rewatched Gamera the Brave, I must say, I didn't like it quite as much as I did the first time. But at the same time, a lot of the comments that I made really are comments that I still would make. I honestly think that it is basically a Showa giant monster movie done really well. I do think that the effects still really hold up for the most part. I mean, there are a couple things, of course, that honestly just are never going to look that good in the first place, like a miniature turtle kind of floating about. It looks decent. People are like, oh, it doesn't look believable. I mean, it's about as believable as it's gonna get. This is Gamera we're talking about. But at any rate, like I said, I still have to say a lot of the same things. Two big differences that I noticed are, for one, the Gamera roar. Now, I know the Gamera roar is not nearly as iconic and recognizable as the King of the Monsters roar, don't get me wrong. But it survived for 11 movies. Gamera the Brave does not have the Gamera roar. What in the world? Was it too difficult for them? I mean, really? What's the problem, right? I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. He has this kind of T-Rex sound now, or then, and it's just not as attractive as a sound, I think. It's not as recognizable if you're seeing the other movies. It really feels out of place. Second thing that I have to get to is the music. In the first video, I went back and rewatched it and noted that I didn't actually say a whole lot about the music, and that there wasn't too many standout tracks. And while this largely remains true, most of the music is fairly forgettable in and of itself. Wow, I mean, that is a weird style. I don't know how I missed that the first time. It seems to change style midway through the movie at some point. Like, you'll get some scenes that are very twangy, like, and then like the small town music at the start, establishing that works well. But then you get some really crazy, there's like a country in there somewhere, and near the end it's more traditional, what you'd expect hero monster movie music. But overall, I mean, it's actually quite strange if you stop and listen to it. I imagine an isolated score feature, while of course infeasible, and I wouldn't even want it as much of a fan as I am, would be interesting nonetheless. Otherwise, though, again, a lot of the same things. I thought it was really fun. I really like the pet antics. It's like I've said before, I am a fan of the troublesome pet genre, so having that blended with one of my other favorite subgenres, the giant monster movie, that just really made my day, and it did so again. And while it's been over a year and 3 months since I've seen this movie, it still holds up. It actually goes by really fast. Admittedly, I think it may have had more impact on me the first time, but of course that's usually a given. You will notice, though, if you rewatch it, man, that is one fast-moving movie. I mean, there's always something happening, whether it be thematic, related to the characters, or related to any of the kind of creature shenanigans. Like, it just comes at you, bam, 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 and that is a fast 95 minutes, I'll tell you that. And so much so to the point that I think, in retrospect, some of the subplots are a little less developed, that I didn't really, it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't take away from the impact of the movie, I think, but a few things are noticeable, particularly the counselor, who is, I guess, a villain. You barely see him in the movie, and a few unexplained things that they're taken for granted that I guess I just assumed when I first watched the movie, such as the kid's relationship to Gamera's egg, and these kind of scarlet pearls that are flying around. And again, while it doesn't really detract from the movie itself, it is something from a logical perspective that if you stop and think about it, is kind of odd. But in all honesty, in perfect honesty, I still really, really, really enjoyed Gamera the Brave. It's a lot of fun. It's not as serious as the Heisei trilogy, of course, but not everything needs to be that bad. And I mean, I can understand why people would be upset about the drastic change in tone, but given that, taken on its own merits, I still think it holds up quite nicely. Now, to the second part of the video, the ratings. Which movies did I like most and which movies did I like least? Well, I've got them all laid out beside me here, and let's get to it. First off, you probably saw this coming, Gamera the Brave. I still really think this movie holds up. It's a lot of fun. Annoyingly enough, by the way, just if anyone has this does not list the runtime of the movie. I had to search high and low to an Amazon product page to actually find this out. I suppose I could have popped it into the actual DVD player, but I don't think I should need to. I mean, IMDb doesn't even list this. Ridiculous. But still a good movie nonetheless. Would definitely check it out. Second favorite movie in the series has got to be Gamera, Revenge of Iris. That's the anglicized name, but that's what I'm going to go with because that's what the DVD says. Is definitely a fantastic movie, really dark movie, one of the deeper kaiju movies I've seen. That's not to say that it's particularly deep. There are a lot of character subplots that go unnoticed in this trilogy capper here, and particularly the plot is fairly ridiculous as ever, but given that, it does a really good job with this. The material is handled with care and with respect and dignity. The effects are still really well done, actually, and a lot of surprises in this one, both in the plot and in the content. So violent at times. Love that. Completely different reasons than Gamera the Brave, of course. You can get this DVD too. It's now out of print. Mill Creek is going to release a Blu-ray of it soon. It's in October, I think it was. And hopefully, because honestly, this is not a very good DVD. Some video quality is not very good, and it has really, really terrible things on it. Like the slogan on the back here is "Save the planet, go green." Really? You're going to go with that? But regardless, definitely a good movie. Watch it if you get the chance. Pick it up if you can, although it's rather pricey online. Third favorite movie has got to be Gamera vs. Baragon. The second movie in the series, and just plain kooky, and really defines a lot of what makes Gamera great. It's kooky enough, particularly in the main character, as well as Baragon there. And the story is inventive and fairly exciting, actually, for a kaiju movie. The human characters actually have something to do, which is very nice, and I think is really the key to any great giant monster movie. Exceptions granted, of course, but overall still a great movie. It's old and the effects are not very good anymore, but honestly, what are you really expecting, right? My third favorite movie, now this is a tough one. I actually had a lot of debate going on which one I liked most, but in the end I eventually had to settle for Gamera vs. Gyron here, and this is actually one of the films here on a double feature, of course, and one of the later movies that did not have a very good budget, and sure enough, it looks terrible. I mean, absolutely, there is practically no effects budget for this, but at the same time, very much the same way Gamera vs. Baragon defines what Gamera is fun, this one really takes it to the umpteenth degree, and it's ridiculous, it's silly, but not so stupid that it implodes in on itself. It's just kind of that amusing silliness where you're like, but you still have a lot of fun with it. So Gamera vs. Gyron, definitely a fantastic movie. Next up, I've got to say, Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, the first movie in the Heisei trilogy, and this is the first Mill Creek Blu-ray release, double feature for it. And can I just say how awesome it is how Gamera is on Blu-ray? I mean, I know that's just really silly to say, but holy shit, there is a rocket-packed turtle that can shoot fireballs on Blu-ray. Blows my mind. In North America, no less. Not even an import. But great movie, great reboot. They treat the main character with a sense of mystery that I think is sorely lacking, and really is a good way to start a story. Human characters given something to do. A little, iffy on the actual characterization, but I'm cool with that. Honestly, it worked out rather nicely. Regardless, I think. And just on that note as well, Gamera, Attack of the Legion, got the name temporarily there, is a fantastic movie as well. Little darker, definitely see where it's going when you get to Revenge of Iris there. But otherwise, still a really fantastic movie. Really interesting villain. Not entirely original, but really interesting to watch. And definitely a good sequel to that. I like how they carry through with some of the plot lines in the previous film. Now, I think... See, I'm just judging this on the fly now, so that's why it's getting difficult. I personally think, and this is probably going to come as a surprise, to a lot of people, I imagine. Well, no, okay. No. I'm doing this on the fly, so forgive me. Gamera vs. Gios. Now, this is the third movie in the series, and super silly, but some really, really creative effects, and it's hard to top the entertainment factor on that one. Getting to the next one, I'm going through it fast now. Gamera vs. Zigra, and this is the DVD set that nobody likes, and rightfully so, because both of these movies are absolutely terrible. Particularly Gamera the Super Monster, but Gamera vs. Zigra is the last really proper Gamera movie in the Showa series, and it's silly, it's over the top, but it's not often you see an aquatic kaiju, I gotta say, and especially in a traditional monster series, not including Ultraman and the like, and it was an interesting team-up. Showdown, better word. And overall, it was just a lot of fun. You got some of the side characters in that with really silly subplots that you just can't help but laugh at in a lot of these cases. Next up, definitely Gamera vs. Jiger here. And overall, this is actually a pretty great movie. Maybe I should have put it higher on the list, but in all honesty, a lot of this is fun factor too, so what can I say? Really deadly opponent, dangerous opponent, gives a sense of threat to Gamera, actually manages to hurt Gamera quite a bit in this one, and a good sense of a showdown, like a struggle in between them, I think, definitely. Next up is, you're gonna kill me, Gamera the Super Monster. This is by far one of the worst movies I have ever seen, and that is no exaggeration whatsoever. It is so terrible that nothing makes sense. Every plot is bad. Every special effect is bad. And it has stock footage from animated projects. And I know I've expounded upon this multiple times and at great length, may I add, on my actual video for Gamera the Super Monster, which you can find a link for at the beginning again. But, wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that anymore about that one. I mean, you probably can't see it very well here, but if you'll notice, Gamera is actually interacting with superheroes in that one, and what looks like a Star Destroyer. So if you haven't seen that movie, definitely go see it. I didn't think Gamera and Space Battleship Yamato actually existed in the same universe. Regardless, fantastic stuff. Stupid as all get out, but a lot of fun nonetheless. Next up, getting to the bare bones here, the original Gamera the Giant Monster, and frankly, not a great movie. I honestly don't know why people look up to this one a lot. I don't think the serious tone really meshes, especially when it's taking itself so seriously and so bad at the same time, and that may seem like somewhat of a hypocritical statement considering I just praised Gamera the Super Monster, but overall, you know, I just didn't really like it that much. There's some really funny lines, but it just didn't blow me away. I don't know what else to say about it. It's interesting from a historical perspective, especially looking back on what the rest of the Gamera series became, much like the original Gojira is as well, although Gojira has many more actual qualifiers than this movie, quality traits I should say. But Gamera the Giant Monster, definitely pick it up, give it a chance. This is one of the standalone DVDs that Share Factory really released, and they had retrospective and an audio commentary on this one, as well as a photo gallery, so you're getting some extra features on this one too. Last but not least, we get to the bottom of the pile, and truly some shit here. We finally have Gamera vs. Virus. Now this is a terrible movie. I don't know what to say. It's just bad in every way. It's not funny. It's just stupid. There is some amusing moments, but a lot of it's just pointless stock footage, and not even amusingly arranged like the Gamera the Super Monster. Gamera vs. Virus, the least of the 12 films. Now, this is the end of my Gamera review series, and it's been, like I said, a year and a month. Long time, a lot of time spent with Gamera, and what do I think? Long live the turtle. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the series. If you want more of this kind of thing, please let me know. If not, I'll still probably do it anyway because I like watching these giant monster films and doing marathon series in general. This was a large undertaking for me, and it's taken me far longer than I thought it would, partly my own laziness and partly release schedules. But I hope you enjoyed the videos, and long live the turtle.